Welcome back for day 4 of your free 5-day cycle tracking mini course. Today is the day you have been waiting for. This is our deep dive into how to cycle track the right way. Despite the fact that doctors, nurses, and cycle tracking device companies claim that cycle tracking on our own is difficult, complicated, and time consuming, it really is so simple, quick, and easy to use fertility awareness methods of cycle tracking. It takes me and my clients no more than 5 minutes a day to track our cycles, whether we're tracking for birth control, pregnancies, or cycle wellness. And nearly 100% of my clients report feeling fully confident in their cycle tracking skills after just 3 cycles. And exactly 0 of my clients have been pregnant after working with me unless they wanted to be. Difficult, time-consuming, and complicated? I think not. Today, we're also going to talk about how exactly we can use cycle tracking as natural birth control to help us get pregnant when we're ready and to have better periods. How can one tool do so many things? And that's one of my favorite things about the right way of cycle tracking is that it is one simple tool that truly does so much for us. It can meet us right where we need to be met. And it grows with us throughout our menstrual life cycle, through pregnancy prevention to pregnancy achievement, to hormonal imbalances, to postpartum cycle recovery, and even the transition into perimenopause and menopause. While we may start using the method for a very specific reason, it is a tool we will always have available to us as our life scenarios shift and change. Therefore, you learn it once, but you have it for the rest of your life. Or better yet, you invest in learning the method one time, and you'll never need to invest in another birth control method, fertility tracker, or cycle health program again if you don't want to. What a major, major win. And so when I talk about cycle tracking the right way, I'm talking about learning how to use a studied fertility awareness method of natural birth control or pregnancy achievement. The method that I use and teach is called the symptothermal double check method. I choose to use and teach this method because it is the most effective fertility awareness method that I have seen to date. It has been studied to be up to 99.6% effective when learned from a trained educator and used properly. Again, the link to that research study is down below in the text of this message. That effectiveness is the same as the pill and many other hormonal methods available to us today. Of course, as we talked about yesterday, the one difference is that the efficacy of fertility awareness methods relies on the user, not synthetic pharmaceutical hormones, right? But it relies on the user. And that's where some variability can come into play. So how exactly does the symptothermal double check method work? The symptothermal double check method works by using daily cervical fluid tracking, daily basal body temperature tracking, and optimal cervix tracking to determine the open and close of the fertile window using, and this is key, real-time cycle data. Users then apply 2 rules for opening the fertile window and 2 rules for closing the fertile window to this tracking data that they've gathered, and voila, they have themselves a highly effective natural birth control and pregnancy achievement method that allows them to open and close their fertile window in real time as they're moving through each menstrual cycle. You might be thinking, hold up, there are rules? And yes, every fertility awareness method has its own unique set of rules for opening and closing the fertile window. Most people don't realize this, but just tracking our cervical fluid and our temperature is not a birth control or pregnancy achievement method. It's just information. It's like a very detailed cycle journal. To actually use that tracking information to achieve or prevent pregnancy, we must apply specific rules to the tracking information that we've gathered. And with the symptothermal double check method, there are 2 simple rules to open the window and 2 simple rules to close the fertile window. Once you've learned these rules, you have your natural birth control and pregnancy achievement method. They never change, and no one can take them away from you. So, how do cervical fluid and temperature tell us when the fertile window even is? So, cervical fluid is it is in fact my favorite cycle tracking sign. And in response to the flood of estrogen leading up to ovulation, the cervix goes through a series of obvious shifts in cervical fluid production, becoming noticeably wetter and slipperier in consistency. We can use this information to know that the body is gearing up for ovulation and that our fertile window needs to be open. Following ovulation, the body makes large amounts of progesterone, which causes cervical fluid to thicken and become noticeably drier. We can use that information to know that the body has moved past ovulation and our fertile window can now close. Basal body temperature. This is our temperature first thing in the morning upon waking. It is highly affected by progesterone levels. Prior to ovulation, temperature readings trend low. Following ovulation and the progesterone surge that takes place, temperatures take on a noticeable rise and remain elevated until the start of the period bleed. We can use this temperature information to know that ovulation has already occurred in the cycle and that we can now close our fertile window. Another really common question, wondering, is does it really only take a few minutes a day to use? And the answer is yes, absolutely. That is not an exaggeration. To track cervical fluid, we simply notice what is on our underwear each time we go to the bathroom throughout the day and the sensations that we feel when we're walking around. And I don't know about you, but walking around and going to the bathroom are already a part of my daily routine. So there really isn't anything new to add in other than just observing and noticing. And taking our temperature in the morning is as easy as sticking an oral thermometer in our mouths and waiting 60 seconds. For those who struggle with that commitment, and do not worry, you're not alone. I get it. There's even a device called Temp Drop that you can wear on your arm to bed, and it will record your temperature for you. And this device is compatible with the symptothermal double check method as birth control and pregnancy achievement. So the time commitment is really a few minutes a day to check our undies, 60 seconds to take our temp, and another minute to write it down on our charts at the end of the day. We're really, truly talking about maybe 5 minutes a day. Another common question is that I've heard I have to wake up at the same time every day to take my temperature, even on the weekends, like WTF. So yes and no. You could do it that way. That is one way to do it. And another way to do it is to use the Temp Drop armband thermometer, like we talked about, which is not time dependent. And yet another way to do it is to use the simple wake up time adjustment equation that comes with the symptothermal double check method to adjust any early or late wake up temps. And do not worry, you can totally still sleep in on the weekends. I do. I've used this method for over a decade. I do not wake up at the same time every day. I don't use the arm band. I simply adjust my temperatures using the very simple adjustment formula. Another concern that I hear a lot is that folks are worried they won't be able to notice their cervical fluid changes. And this is a concern that I really do hear all the time. And truthfully, after 2 to 3 cycles, nearly all of my clients are able to read their cervical fluid changes all on their own. For those that struggle to make lots of cervical fluid, there are easy food, supplement, and lifestyle shifts that can help boost cervical fluid production naturally in just a few cycles. So breathe easy, relax, you've got this. I trust you. If you have other burning questions about the symptothermal double check method as birth control or pregnancy achievement, just hit reply to this message, shoot them to me, and I'm happy to send you some answers. I want to know what they are. All right. That's all that I have for you today. Tomorrow, I'm going to be back one more time with a very, very special message for you. I'm so excited about it. Tomorrow, I'll give you the insider details on how to actually get started using the symptothermal double check method ASAP, regardless of whether you're looking for birth control, pregnancy, or better periods. You will get the choice to get started with this method tomorrow. You do not want to miss out. Check your inbox tomorrow. I'll see you then.